Here is a sample interface on line 6 that I have declared. It's my own custom one called evaluate. The angle brackets T here is for generics. They're not on the 808 exam, but basically what it means is that I can have an evaluate for integer, I can have another evaluate for string, I can have another one for cat, another one for dog. You're just typing it, saying it'll only work for this particular type in this particular instance. I've declared an isNegative method. It'll work for whatever type that is, and it will take it in and call it T. Now the reason I'm using this particular one is that it's leading up to the predefined one which is in the API, the predicate one. It's very similar. So now that I have that evaluate functional interface declared, I'm declaring a reference to it. It's going to work for integer only in this case. It's called lambda. It takes in one argument. This is the input into the one abstract method. So the compiler needs to know, well, what method are you talking about? Well, there's only one abstract method here. So that's why you can only work with functional interfaces with lambdas, because the compiler can't be making the decision, well, which method are you talking about? It takes in one argument. Okay, that's what's coming in here, one argument. So this code here is for the isNegative method defined on line 7. That is the input coming in. The arrow separates the input from the code, and there is the code. It strips away as much as possible. That's what a lambda does. So what you have there is it'll examine, is I less than 0? And it'll return true or false. What are we returning? A Boolean. So there's no problem there. You could put in the return, then you've got to start putting in curly brackets for your block of code. For example, return that, but you see I get an error. I need to put in the block of code now. So there's certain rules that you'll have to get used to like that. And that is a normal block of code, so you need a semicolon there, as in you would have in a normal method. You'd have a semicolon at the end of that return statement. So now that I have the lambda expression defined, I can go and call the isNegative method with it. You're just defining it for later use. This code is not executed at this point here. It's important to realize that. This is where it's executed. When you say lambda dot isNegative, because that's the method I've defined. And I'm passing in -1, so that will come back with true. And I call it a second time with a +1, and that will come back with false.